field again here. You think about what they've done this season. They're coming off back-to-back 3-13 campaigns. Well, they had more than 3 wins at the halfway point. So you call this season a success already?
It's a success already in terms of that, but I believe that they're thinking bigger now because they've established themselves as a team who can play with anyone. Now they want to find a way to beat some of the teams they haven't beat in the last few years. Remember, they finished last in the NFC North 4 years straight. Defense has been a staple and has actually been pretty good even the last few seasons. Now it's been elevated with Khalil Mack being around, but the offense is starting to hit its stride as well. 48 points against Tampa, put up 41 against Buffalo. They're starting to click too.
Here's Trubisky. And that is incomplete.
My dad used to tell me all the time, when you're getting ready to play a big-time game, especially when you have one going into a dome setting, better strap it up tight because that crowd can really affect things.
Especially on third downs like the one we just saw there with the incompletion. Well, of course, you want to find the end zone, but, you go on the road, you get 3 points. I think you take it.
Yeah, pretty good start to the day for them, don't you think? Right? You go out there, get the 3 points. Now, look, it's not going to silence this crowd, but it might take a little bit of steam out of them right off the top.
Parkey now following the made field goal to kick this one off. That's fielded in the end zone. Well, he thought about coming out, but instead he does go down to a knee, and they'll bring the football out to the 25. So here are the Lions now coming out for their opening drive. Leading the charge at quarterback, the former Georgia Bulldog, Matthew Stafford.
And it felt like in watching the game tape, he got everyone involved last week.
He was a manager.
He really was. That's a great way to put it because they ran the ball some, they threw it accurately. 1 touchdown pass. He didn't, break the bank doing that, but he didn't throw any interceptions. That's the bottom line. That's why a defense loves a quarterback like that. Doesn't put them in bad situations.
And now the offense for Detroit.
One way I really judge a player's value is when opponents know what your strengths are, yet they still can't take that away. That tells me you're a heck of a player. And for Theo Riddick, everyone knows about his ability to catch the ball out of the backfield, yet he's still the primary target for Matthew Stafford on just about any passing situation.
And he stopped immediately there. In on the stop, the former Georgia Bulldog, Roquan Smith.
Quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers playing with their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on when you can play action them or stick something to them between the second and the third level.
The NFL on EA Sports is fueled by Gatorade, the sports fuel company.
Here with Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin, as the Lions are in possession of the football here to begin quarter number 2. They'll need to convert a 3rd and 7, though, to start things out. Out of the gun, Stafford. Looking downfield for Jones. Incomplete. He had his hands on it but couldn't pick it. But it's now 4th down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
The Bears offense now getting ready to take over. And, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're first place in their division. Looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And let's think about what every team has in their goals. All right? Number 1 goal is what? Make the playoffs. Number 2 goal is win your division. Number 3 goal, and the biggest goal, I think, is to be the highest seed possible that you can be heading into the playoffs so that you can have as many home games as possible to try and get you to the Super Bowl.
And right now fighting for every win possible to try to at least secure home field for the wild card and or divisional round. So still backed up, but the situation not as dire now. 1st and 10 at the 14. On first down, they run with Howard. And he'll be taken down at the 18. The linebacker, Christian Jones, there to make the stop.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter games turn into bigger runs later.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. And that one goes incomplete. He's maybe lucky it wasn't a fumble as he got hit as he threw it.
Well, we always talk about how you've got to be quick when you go through your progressions, and here's another prime example. Trying to look downfield, he was standing in the pocket, but just couldn't find anyone open, could he?
No, not enough time. They hit him and forced that incompletion. On third down, Trubisky pushing his way through. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains.
On any given pass play, you never know exactly where your exit points are going to be. On this play, it was flushed to his left, still on the run, able to accurately throw the football for a nice first down.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Now a play fake here on first down. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete. Well, Week 12 in the NFL, also Thanksgiving week, and 3 games on Thanksgiving. We know about Chicago and Detroit, Washington, and Dallas. Don't forget about the third and final game on Turkey Day, just as the early Black Friday shoppers are lining up. Atlanta and New Orleans.
And those Black Friday shoppers will be throwing serious elbows about the time this bad boy kicks off. Now, think about this weekend, or think about this Thanksgiving. It has the feel of a college rivalry weekend, doesn't it? Every game, intense rivalry. Chicago, Detroit, Washington, Dallas, and now this one, Atlanta, New Orleans. These two don't like each other very much. A huge game in the NFC South. Can't wait to watch this one. Matt Ryan, Drew Brees matching each other throw for throw.
Give him 10 that time, escaping the danger, running with it, and picking up a first down.
Containing him is becoming a big problem. We've already seen this once earlier on this drive.
Yeah, and so now 2 times this has happened. Do you adjust something?
Yeah, I think you do. I think you got to start thinking about your rush lanes. Try not to either get too wide or too narrow. Make sure someone is there waiting for him to take off.
Trubisky with the give to Howard. And he's going to get it across the midfield stripe into Lion territory. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
That's a strong pickup right there on first down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
They run play action for Howard. Now Trubisky rolling to his right. And he finds Howard complete. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a first down.
They go play action here on first down. They'll roll him out right to the sideline, and wow, what a catch there. He doesn't get a lot, but he was able to get the feet down complete. 5 yards on the pickup, and that'll make it 2nd down. Coming up at halftime, I'll go from one personality, that's you, Charles Davis, to another one in Orlando, the coach. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL. You and Jonathan Coachman, both larger than life.
No doubt about it.
But you're stuck with me in this booth,
yes,
and he's miles away and smiling.
And happy.
Escaping the pressure right. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago. Anthony Miller, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Bears will add on to their lead. And a nice job by him to catch the slant and then navigate and break free.
And receivers love slant routes because it gets the ball in their hands so quickly and oftentimes on the move. And when they're on the move like that, then they get to use their best asset, which is usually their speed.
And their speed sometimes, like this instance, can take them into the end zone. Parkey with the extra point, and the lead grows to 10-0. A 10-play drive that time, and it culminates in a touchdown for Chicago. Here's Parkey now, set to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Detroit Lions trotting out on the field again, and the first year under Matt Patricia maybe hasn't gone how they had hoped. They're going to need a big second half of the season to get back into playoff contention, but the running game has been better.
It certainly has, because remember they drafted Kerryon Johnson out of Auburn in hopes that he would emerge as their lead back, and he's done exactly that, on pace to be a 1,000-yard rusher as a rookie. They haven't had one of those since Reggie Bush in 2013. Unfortunately, they still feel a little bit like they're treading water, still trying to find their way. Even made a move on defense, though, to try and shore things up on the defensive line at the trade deadline.
A hit. He lost the football. Stafford puts it on the ground. And I think the Bears have recovered. They have. A defensive-minded coach loves to bring the heat, brought the heat there, and it worked out.
And nowadays, all those defensive-minded coaches, for them, it's all about getting the football. I went into one facility, and as soon as you walked into the defensive room, there was a football, like on a spring, and each guy that walks in that plays has to act like he's knocking the ball free. They want those instincts created. They want them to think about that all the time, and that's what they try to preach.
A nice pickup of 14, and it moves the stick, sets up a 1st and goal.
That's a football play right there. That takes me back a little bit. Toss sweep to the right, get it to your back, get a lot of people out in front, control the line of scrimmage, wide receivers blocking downfield. It almost feels like half the crowd is in front of him, getting it down to the secondary. They have a tough time getting him down.
Now Trubisky, eluding the pressure right. And that is caught. Touchdown, Bears. Taylor Gabriel, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Bears will extend their lead.
We see this route all the time, but when it's well executed, it's a beauty.
And it feels like the fade takes forever to develop, like that ball is just hanging in the air.
And the reason why is that the receiver is trying his best to work the defender inside and give himself space to fade away from him and catch the football. And that's exactly what happened there.
Now Parkey for the extra point. Parkey adds the extra point, and that makes our score 17-0. Here's Parkey now, set to kick it away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. The Lions offense, they get ready to head back onto the field. And this is a unit that, to be frank, doesn't look like they've woken up yet. I mean, a punt and a turnover on their first 2 drives.
And I think the game's starting to take shape a little bit now. And I'm going to take it into the basketball world. When you're having trouble scoring or moving the ball in basketball, what do? Get it to their best player, right? Find a matchup, create it, exploit it, and try and move the football.
The Lions will use the first of their timeouts, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. On first down, Stafford here. Caught on the right side by Jones. Now before the second down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. To throw on second down is Stafford. Pressure, and he's taken down. A Bear sack.
Three scores down, not even a halftime yet. They are not getting much generated offensively. They've got to figure it out.
It's tough because this defense just seems to be playing with so much confidence right now.
They really are. They are on their toes, and they're getting at them.
Throwing on third down, Stafford. And this is going to be incomplete. You got a young quarterback, maybe that's just an example of a growing pain for him.
I think you're right about that, because when the game starts to move fast and it moves quickly on him, a lot of times they fall back on what they know best, their arm. He's slinging it on this one. Had a wide open target, but didn't have the proper footwork to increase his accuracy.
Onto the field now come the Bears. And we'll see how this is played. Offensively, they've got the lead. Not a whole lot of time left. What do you think, Charles?
Well, it's tempting to try and add to your lead, but a mistake there, that can change things in a big way. I say go ahead, take the knee, get on out for the half.
This drive starting off on the right foot, 18 yards.
There are so many things to watch for when you play defense. And reading your keys, you always hear about that, having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? That sprang the big guy did.
Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Darius Slay with a pick. And here now is spin. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. The final shot before the break, Stafford. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. And now, due to apparent time constraints, we fast forward to the beginning of the second half. So we're at halftime here in the annual Thanksgiving game in Detroit. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. The Lions offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know.
I would love to have been in there, because we often have the feeling that there's a lot of shouting, screaming, people upset. But typically, halftime locker rooms are a lot more clinical than that. And in this case, are they upset that the plays weren't working because of execution? Or did they think they were just bad plays to call?
Yeah.
We'll find out pretty quickly here if they feel like they had something going, but they just need to do it a little bit better or not.
We'll find out. On the ground, it's Riddick. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain that time, as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Now Riddick. And he'll get this only up to about the 35. Just a 2-yard pickup, and that should necessitate a call for the punt team here on 4th down.
Well, they certainly have been able to get him going and establish the run, so I think it's time to abandon that plan and start chucking it all over the park. And you know who's excited about that? The defensive front. They got a chance to pin their ears back and get after him now.
And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. So here are the Bears now as they get set for their first possession of the second half. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly, because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team. That their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
It's still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
Being chased out left. And this is Gabriel on the catch. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down. The things got a little dicey there as soon as he exited the pocket out to the left.
And he ends up throwing it for no yardage gained. I don't know about you, but my high school coach, John Ford, if he saw a ball in the air and you got no yard...
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Quadre Diggs. And they will finally get to him, but a great return has set him up first and goal at the 5. They needed a break. They needed to make a play here in the third quarter defensively. They did that. Now they got to go quickly and get some points on the board.
And the best part is that they made their own break. Taking the ball away. Now they just look at their offense and saying, guys, let's go. Come on, capitalize on this one.
Floating one, incomplete. Meanwhile, here's a shot for the end zone right away, but it's incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
They'll give it to him up the middle. And not a whole lot there. He does get a couple, taking it from the 5 down to the 3.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
This Bears defense trying to hold on. This is 3rd and goal. Stafford. Under pressure now, and he's going to go down. Sack back around the 8. Akeem Hicks in there to get him, and that's sack number 8 for him on the year.
And that's the second sack of the game, but this player, disruptive in all phases, whether he's going upfield, coming underneath, you name it. He's a big-time guy you have to block.
And Prater's kick is on the money. It's good. And they're on the board at least here. It's now 17-3. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. It's what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
The Bears offense now heading back out onto the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. Now Trubisky to throw on second. Buying time to his left. He's got a man. That's caught. Left sideline. Touchdown, Chicago. 3 touchdown passes now for Mitchell Trubisky. And the Bears will add on to their lead. You know, the man on our cover, John Madden, so synonymous with these Thanksgiving Day games. He was on TV for these from, I think, 81 to 01, giving out the Turkey Leg Award and turducken he always talked about. Special when you got a guy going off like this. I think he would be a good recipient of the Turkey Leg Award.
Well, he's definitely already worked on that leg. Is it possible he could end up getting the whole turkey?
Yeah, give him a thigh,
or the
too.
Whole turducken. And it's really great that you mentioned Coach Madden because everyone knows him from this. Everyone knows him from the broadcast booth. Remember, he won a Super Bowl as a head coach in Oakland.
Yep, he did indeed. But right now, we are watching maybe one of those turkey leg performances with his second touchdown there. And Detroit getting set to go now. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
And that is incomplete. Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. Hey, with that incompletion, time to have some fun. I want to know, at the Davis household, who carves the turkey?
Well, certainly not me.
Well, I knew that.
I can tell you that. But let's just switch it. Who cares who carves the turkey? I want to know what you're going to be knocking down on your plate on Thanksgiving Day.
Well, definitely turkey. Now, my mom's corn and green bean casserole, while it may not sound overly appetizing, is out of this world. And her sweet potato casserole, second to none.
So, I should be making my plans to fill a seat at the Garden household?
You're more than welcome.
Because I think my household may kick me out.
What's your favorite? What's on your plate?
I'm telling you, when you throw the yams at me, look out. Because I'm gonna go to town. That's like dessert to me.
Well, how about dessert? I go pecan and apple pie with vanilla ice cream.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with that. I like the pecan pie, but I do love a chocolate pie. I can't help myself. It's one of my favorites. Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on third down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a fourth down decision.
Taking it about the 16. Very good return that time. 18 yards, and the Bears take over. Now the Bears offense ready to take over again. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked. But you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Give them 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And hard running's going to get him over the 40 to the 42. And it's still about 3 yards shy of a first as the 4-yard pickup brings it to third down.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward. And they won't put
Back now at Ford Field. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4. On third down, this is Howard. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs.
Brandon, when a defense just simply can't get off the field on third down, and we all know how important that down is for both sides of the ball, you often feel like you're just a step behind whatever they're doing offensively.
And one of the differences in this game, no doubt, third down conversion, and that is going to be a story they'll talk about after this one. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. 12 yards there as they move the chains. And he's certainly been a huge factor in this when he's got the 2 touchdowns to his credit. Now they look to him again. He picks up the first.
Yeah, I can hear everyone saying, well, why don't you cover and double and triple and do what you have to do? But sometimes they get locked into such a groove and such a connection, it doesn't matter how many guys are in his area.
He certainly looks to be in that groove right now. Now Trubisky on first down. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
This is Howard on second down. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive.
Well, I don't think there's any question, Brandon, at this stage, the stop troops, the defensive guys, they've got to use their 3 timeouts here. They've got to stop them and get the ball back.
Yeah, if you're in that 2 to 3 score deficit window that they're in now, you got to get it ASAP.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Stop them, use your timeouts. Easier to move the ball on offense without timeouts than to stop them on defense without using them.
On first, they go right back to Howard. And they give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
On the handoff, this is Howard. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that's going to bring up a third down.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the fourth quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
From the gun on third down, it's Trubisky. His throw caught at about the 5. And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. So the Bears with the football here as we welcome you back. They've got it 1st and goal in a game that appears to have already been decided. From the shotgun is Trubisky. Touchdown, Bears.
Is it okay if I break one of our rules, partner, which is to never call a game over until it's over? Because this certainly feels like it's over after that drive.
Yeah, that was spirit-crushing, wasn't it? And now you just kind of felt the air go out of the balloon.
Yeah, they were fighting so hard to stay in there, and they knew they had to stop them on that drive. But when they were unable to, I think you're exactly right. You could see them sag on their sideline, and I think this one might just be over.
Still an important piece of business to take care of, the extra point. Parkey with the extra point, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Here's Parkey now, set to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And Detroit getting set to go now. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that, and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team, and we were losing late in a game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
On 2nd and 10, Stafford. Completing it here to Marvin Jones. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
If he's their best threat on offense, use your #1 cover guy on defense. It doesn't matter about size.
They have had him locked up. That just his first catch of the game. Big reason why they're down. That'll be taken in there by Kenny Golladay. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18. Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now, because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
Left side completion to Jones. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. 23 yards on the play. From the red zone now, Stafford. And Jones has it over the middle. A gain of 6 there on first.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Set, lady.
Again, it's Stafford. It goes as a loss of 6. And now 3rd down. They're going to need to get up and set in a hurry. On 3rd down, Stafford. And almost intercepted. Would have been a huge pick in the end zone, but as it stands, that brings up 4th. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does, is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
And it's knocked away and incomplete. It was the veteran Prince Amukamara that time who had the play covered from the start. So they tried to go for it for pride, but it really wouldn't have mattered. This one, it was already determined.
No doubt about it. This one was over a while ago.
Hey, gotta go, gotta go.
Looky here, Trubisky wants to throw it. Got some room at the 30. That play going for 16 yards to start the drive. First down.
He's starting to fall into the category of not fair, because when he's on target throwing the ball, he's dangerous. But when you add in his ability to make plays with his feet, almost impossible.
Well, yeah, exactly. They've had trouble stopping him in the secondary. This time they've got the great coverage. Oh, he can run too. A road win in the National Football League. Charles, you never take that for granted, no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run with it. And you know you primed the pump all week in your own home facility. No one thinks we can do this. Only people who believe are right here in this room. And then you go on the road, band together, and get it done.
So for the Bears, they keep pace in the playoff race as they move to 8-3 on the year. And now they'll have a few extra days here before they face the Giants next week. Meanwhile, for the Lions, their luck may have run out as they fall to 4-7 now on the year. And they'll have a chance at redemption next week at home against the Los Angeles Rams. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.